Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome to the computer class. I am your teacher Aisha Anwar. I hope all of you are fine and doing well with your studies. We are studying chapter number 4, which is about control structures. In previous lecture, we have started this chapter and studied about the basic concepts about control structures. In today's lecture, we will revise some previous concepts and will study the switch statement in today's lecture. Let's begin today's lecture. First of all, let's revise the concept of control structures. Control structures basically controls the flow of a program execution. Normally, we execute our program and those programs are executed line by line. A program is usually not limited to a linear sequence of instructions like in sequential manner. During the process of computer programming, there may be a requirement to change or alter or repeat the code to take some type of decisions. For this purpose, C++ provides control structures that serve to specify what has to be done by the program when and under which circumstances or conditions. We know that there are three types of control structures in C++: sequential, conditional, and repetition. Conditional control structures are those control structures in which some type of decisions are involved. On the basis of some particular condition, we decide which statements are to be executed. Conditional control structures are also known as decision control structures. We also call them as selection control structures. They are known as decision control structures because they are based on some type of conditions. If a condition is met, which means if the condition is true, then a specific set of instruction is to be executed, otherwise control is transferred to some other part of a program. It means that which part of program is to be executed is totally depending upon a specific condition. That's why they are known as conditional control structures. We will implement conditional control structures with the help of if statement, if else statement, else if statement, and switch statement. In our previous lecture, we have already discussed about if statement, if else statement, and else if statement. In today's lecture, we will discuss what is a switch statement and how it is implemented in C++ language. Let's start switch statement. The switch statement is used in programming when a single block of statements is to be selected among many choices. It means that we are having more than two choices. To implement more than two choices, we use switch statement. Switch statement has its own specific syntax and its own purpose. When we discussed about else if statement, we also discussed it that else if statement is also implemented to select among various choices, just like the switch statement. Now, you have to understand the switch statement. After understanding the switch statement, we will be able to differentiate between else if statement and switch statement. This is the journal expression or the syntax of a switch statement. First of all, we write down the reserved word switch. Then within the bracket, we write down the expression or variable on which we are going to make some sort of selection. Then we use the curly bracket. This is the start of the switch statement and this is the end of the switch statement. In switch statement, we use multiple cases like case 1, case 2, case 3 and so on, depending upon the number of choices or alternatives that we have. We write down the reserved word case and then value in front of case, and after mentioning this, please notice in the end of case statement there is no semicolon but a colon sign is there. After this, we write down the statements that are to be executed. When we close a case, we use the break statement with the semicolon. How will it work? You will understand it with the help of example in upcoming slides. So, this is the example for the switch statement. With the help of this example, you will easily understand the concept of a switch statement. First of all, we have declared a variable named day. This variable is of data type int and we have assigned the value 4 to the variable day. So, it means that day is a variable which has the value 4. Now, we are using the switch statement. We have written the reserved word switch, then within the brackets we have passed the variable day. Then this is the start of the switch statement. Now, we have mentioned some cases in switch statement: case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, case 5, case 6 and case 7. Now, what will happen if the case 1 is met? Note that we have written the reserved word case. All the reserved words of the C language are written with the blue color for your better understanding. Case 1, then colon sign. If case 1 is met, then print on the screen Monday, then break. If the value is 2, then print out Tuesday on the screen, then break. Case 3, see out Wednesday, then break the case. Case 4 is for Thursday. Case 5 is for Friday. Case 6 Saturday. Case 7 Sunday. Now, what will happen when this program is executed? We know that the variable day has the value 4. So, it means we are having value 4 in the variable day in this statement. So, when the variable value is 4, then it means case 4 will be executed. So, the output of this program is the Thursday, because we have selected 4. What will happen if I will change the value this 4 to the 7? If I will make this value from 4 to the 7, what will be the output? Then Sunday will be printed on the screen. It means that we pass a variable or expression to the switch statement. Then depending upon the value of the variable or expression, the case will be selected. When the value of a variable is met with a particular case, that particular case will be executed and rest of the cases will be skipped. This break statement at the end of a case will make the flow of a control to come out of the block. We will discuss some more examples so that you can understand the switch statement in much better way. Here is another example for the switch statement. In this example, we have taken the variable OPER of the data type character. This OPER is referred to the operator word, and we have declared two more variables, number 1 and number 2. First of all, there will be a message on the screen, enter an operator, addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Whatever the operator is entered by the user will be stored in the variable OPER. Now, the next message will be displayed on the screen, enter two numbers. The user will enter the numbers and those numbers will be stored in variable num1 and num2. Now, depending upon the character entered by the user, we will check for multiple choices. So, here we have used switch statement to check the multiple choices. We have used the reserved word switch, and in this switch statement we have passed the variable OPER. Now, we have mentioned the 4 cases for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. What will happen if user will enter the plus operator? So, we have defined the choices as the cases. Case for addition, we will perform addition. Then what will happen if user will select subtraction? we have used the formula for subtraction, same for the multiplication and same for the division. Now, let us suppose user have entered the plus operator. Now, this switch statement has the value plus. Now, it will match case plus, yes, this first case is matched, plus the output will be like this. Number 1, let us suppose we have entered two numbers as 3 and as 4. So, output will be displayed as 3. Then for this plus, it will write the plus operator on the screen. Then number 2, second number is 4, then it will print the equal sign as it is, and in the end it is looking for the instruction, that is number 1 plus number 2, which will make it the 7. So, this will be the output of this program. Now, what will happen if user will enter multiplication? It will check for the cases. Will multiplication is matched with this? No. With this operator? No. Yes. With the third operator? Yes, it is matched with the third operator. So, this statement will be executed. 3 multiplied by 4 is equals to 12. So, this will be the output. Now, here is another example for the switch statement. We can use the switch statement in this way that I am going to explain you in this slide. Here we have taken the variable ch of data type character. Then we have displayed a message on the screen to enter an alphabet, any alphabet. The alphabet entered by the user will be stored in the variable ch with the help of this cin statement. Now, we have passed the variable ch in this switch statement. Now, please notice that we have mentioned cases over here, but we have not written anything in front of any case. So, here we have mentioned 5 cases for the 5 small or lower case vowel letters and 5 cases for uppercase or capital vowel letters. We want to execute a single message if any of these 10 cases match. So, for this type of scenario, we mention all the cases, and in the end of the case we write down the message which is to be displayed if any of these 10 cases is matched with the user's choice. So, what will happen if user will enter the letter capital E? So, it will start matching. Will it match with it? No, not with small e, and in this way it will check all the remaining cases. Yes, now capital E is matched with this case of capital E. So, here it will display the output as E is a vowel. But what will happen if user has entered the any letter other than the vowel? All these cases will be skipped because none of the cases are matched with the letter. Then it will execute the default portion where a message will be displayed on the screen. B is a consonant, which means it is not a vowel. So, here we need to understand that if we want to display a single message for more than one case, we will mention all the cases separately, and in the end of all the cases we write the single message that is to be displayed, instead of writing that single message again and again which with all the cases. In this way it will be more convenient for us to use a single message. As we have discussed earlier that if else if statement is also used for multiple choices like switch statement. So we are going to compare else if statement with the switch statement. So these are the differences among if else if statement and the switch statement. If you remember the syntax of if else if statement, we write the reserved word if, and after the reserved word if we mention a condition, and that condition is evaluated to generate the output. For example, if x is greater than y, so it will compare x and y and it will generate an output against it. If it is true, then do this. If it is false, then do some other task. So true or false is the output of that expression inside the if statement. So the if else if statement is executed depending upon the output of the expression, but in switch statement which type of case is to be executed is decided by the user. For example, in as we have discussed, if in the example of vowel letters, which type of case is to be executed is depending upon the user's choice. If I want to perform addition, I will select this operator for addition or division or multiplication, that is to be decided by the user, but in if else if statement that is decided by the output of the expression. If else if statement has the multiple statements for multiple choices, but switch statement uses single expression for multiple choices. Like in switch statement, we just pass a single expression in the starting of the switch case statement. We use the reserved word switch, and after that we pass the single expression like ch in that, and for that single expression we have multiple choices in the form of multiple cases. But in if else if statement, we have to mention separate condition for the choices within the separate if words. If else if statement test for the equality as well as for the logical expression. For example, x is less than y, x is equals to y, or x is greater than y and y is greater than z. So these are the examples for equality and logical expressions, but switch statements test only for the equality. It checks whether the user's choice is equal to some case. If it is equal to some case, then that case will be executed and rest of the cases will be skipped. Here are some more differences between if else and switch statement. If else statements can evaluate integers, characters, pointers, floating point data type or boolean type, but switch statements only evaluates the characters and integers. It cannot evaluate floating point, pointers and boolean data type. We will study pointer in the chapter number 7. Either if statement will be executed or else statement is executed in if else if statement, but in switch statement it executes one case after one other till the break statement is appeared or end of the switch statement is reached. It means that in if else if statement either one block is executed or the other one, but in switch statement one case is met the condition, so that case is executed, and when it meets a break statement it will break the execution sequence and will take the flow out of the switch statement. In if else if the condition inside if statement is false, then by default else statement is executed if it is created. But if the condition is false inside the statement, which means it does not match with any of the case for that instance, thus default statement is executed if created. So, it means if else statement has the else portion to be executed, and in switch statement we have default portion to be executed if the condition does not meet. Now, what is nested if? An if statement inside an other if statement is known as nested if. It means that if we are using a condition and in that condition we are also using an other condition, so such type of if statements are known as the nested if statements. For example, here you can see that we are using the if statement. For this if statement we are using an other if statement. If is raining, then check for the temperature. If temperature is greater than 45, then print the message wear lightweight raincoat, else print wear fleece and raincoat. So, you can see that we are using an if statement in an other if statement. So, this type of if statements are known as the nested if statements. This one is the outer if else statement and these one are the inner if else statements. We have used if statement in if part also, and we have used the if else statements in else part also. So, these type of statements to check the multiple conditions within an other condition is known as the nested if statement. So, here is the today's task for you. You have to compare the decision control structures. We have studied about 4 ways in which we can implement decision control structures. These are if else if and switch. In today's lecture we have compared only 2 decision control structures, that is if else if and switch, but you have to compare the other 2 in the same way. In addition, for better understanding, you have to practice the example on Dev C++, or you can practice this C++ code on this website, which I have also shared with you previously. If you are having installation issues with Dev C++, you can compile your code online on this website. Now, we are going to have a small practical demonstration of switch statement. How will it work? Let's move towards the practical part. That's all for today. If you are having any queries, please send me your confusions and queries. Have a good day. Thank you.